data center can be viewed as a facility that is used to manage large amount of data. It typically comprises of two different layers, the hardware layer and the software layer. The hardware is comprised of the servers, the storage components, the network components, and of course any other component that is required to manage the data. The software infrastructure is typically responsible for managing the data and interacting with the hardware. The low level software components such as operating system, device drivers, and the top layer application systems are part of the software infrastructure. The software infrastructure is also responsible for providing many data center features. Those features are typically the data protection layer, mostly for managing the backups, disaster recovery, the performance, the data management, and ease of use. Other features that are typically provided by the software infrastructure for data centers are simplicity, that is ease of use, capacity planning, performance, scalability, and of course the data analytics and insight into the data. At A4, we have expertise to handle data center comprised of physical servers, comprised of virtualized software and hardware layer, and of course the cloud based infrastructure. So services we provide at A4, we typically focus on four major areas: systems, storage, virtualization, and cloud. The test consulting services we provide that include the test end-to-end test management, which covers test strategy, automation strategy, test design, automation design and coverage, integration with DevOps tools, CI/CD implementation, and configuration management. Of course, we provide support for infrastructure provisioning and management. Test cycle management, which covers end-to-end testing lifecycle services that are test planning, estimation, execution, test automation and development, end-to-end test execution including functional and non-functional areas, regression testing, non-functional areas such as performance, scalability, compatibility, compliance, security, and internationalization and localization. So the typical problems that we solve for new data center technology based customers. One of the customers had conceptualized this product which provides a very good insight into data analytics and data center visualization. The typical problem that we solved for them is end-to-end test management. We started off this engagement with test consulting, which comprise of test planning, strategies for both comprehensive testing and automation, test designing, and of course execution. We also developed a test automation harness from ground up that provided end-to-end test execution only through automation. We covered the entire compatibility matrix with various different features that are provided, including network and performance discovery of different applications and hardware and software components that comprise of the data center product that we were validating. This also covered various data center features such as performance, network monitoring, scalability, simplicity, typical data center analytics, and data management. We also covered comprehensive testing for various other layers such as different protocols, Active Directory, LDAP, SSL encryption, data protection, which includes backup, disaster recovery, and of course data replication. So the client is one of the leading data protection application provider for virtual and physical data centers. The typical problem we solved for this customer is to end-to-end test management services, again starting with test consulting, which included test planning and execution for various hot fixes and releases that are provided by the client. We started off with the planning phase, and we are integral part of the agile process that is used by the product development from the customer side. We came up with a comprehensive test and automation strategy for this product. We started off building a test automation framework for the customer, which covered 90% of the regression test through automation only, which covered around 900 odd test cases out of existing 1000 odd test cases, which covered the functional as well as non-functional test areas for the customer. For functional aspect, we covered various different features, mostly comprising data protection and the disaster recovery solution. This comprised of various file system level features such as deduplication, encryption, data integrity and validation, various protocols which included NFS, SMB, and of course compatibility with various backup applications that are available in the market. We covered end-to-end integration testing with various cloud, providing the backend storage solution with cloud providers such as AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and the data center serving as a middle layer, data protection layer, and on the other hand we had enterprise level backup application including Veeam, NetBackup, and Backup Exec. We covered end-to-end testing, provided automation and test consulting services for this client, and ensured certification efforts with different service providers under the data protection umbrella. So we have test software architects with more than 10 years of experience in the industry and who are experts in providing test management services such as test planning, test strategies, automation strategies, test development, automation development, and end-to-end test management. We also have mid to senior level test engineers who are responsible for test planning, writing down test designs, test executions, and providing test coverage reports. We also have experts in automation, including various open source and commercial tools. Typical team sizes that are comprised of small teams with 2 to 3 members, having a lead who is expert in test planning, management and execution. At the same time, we have a test automation engineer and a test engineer who would be responsible for test execution, coverage, and test reports. A larger team starts with a test architect who looks at the holistic systems, come up with test design recommendation, test coverage, tools for automation, and coming up with comprehensive test and automation strategies. We have principal test engineer who is responsible for end-to-end release test cycle management. We have mid-level to junior, mid-level to senior test engineers who would be responsible for writing test designs, executing test cases, automating those test cases using commercial and open source tools and technologies, and providing comprehensive test reports. At A4, we have expertise of handling test management for various products such as data center visualization and analytics, a highly scalable NAS cluster which are based on SSD and flash arrays, which is a hybrid of NAS and SAN, enterprise level backup and DR solution, a virtualization platform, Kubernetes based system, hyperconvergence platform, software defined storages, and cloud platforms. We also have expertise working on niche areas like fog computing solutions. We use various technologies such as virtualization platforms including ESX, Hyper-V, and cloud technologies such as Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, and of course OpenStack for infrastructure deployment and management according to the production level, and simulating the infrastructure based on the deployment guide as per the product specification. most important aspect in QA services is to simulate the production level deployments and architecture in test environments. We use various tools and technologies for simulating the production level deployments. We use virtual machines, different containers such as Dockers and Elastic based containers, and the containerization platforms such as Kubernetes to simulate complex test environments. Our engineers can build and automate complex test environments using virtual as well as cloud based machines. We have comprehensive knowledge of different types of testing, including functional as well as non-functional testing areas. The non-functional testing areas are typically performance, scalability, reliability and security. We cover various file system level features for test management, test strategies and test case designing. Various features that we cover are data protection features such as backup, disaster recovery, snapshot, remote replications. Various NAS cluster level features such as high availability, scalability, scale up, scale down, scalability in performance and capacity. Various NAS level protocols such as SMB, CIFS, NFS, object store level protocols such as S3 and Swift. We also have expertise in NAS file system level features such as data replication, deduplication, encryption, compression and of course data integrity aspect of it. At A4 we are experts at running functional regression tests through automation for various products which are high availability NAS clusters, virtualization platform, visualization solutions, hyperconvergence, software defined storage and cloud based platforms. We have developed in-house state of the art test automation frameworks and accelerators. Vanilla is one of the test accelerator framework that we have built in-house with the test libraries which accelerates test automation. Our Unix based test automation framework is called Booster, which is a multi-threaded, multi-tenancy test framework which allows user to write the test data into the test automation framework and automate test cases on the fly, which can be executed in parallel on multiple environments including Linux, Mac, different operating systems, Windows, etc. We have another framework which is typically used for browser testing, which is called Bolt. This is an API, REST API based test automation framework which runs on headless browsers.